And specifically, what I want to ask you is about two different memos that you've issued to prosecutors with regard to mandatory minimum sentencing. And specifically, in the charging memo, one of the charging memos, you said the proliferation of provisions carrying mandatory minimum sentences has often caused unwarranted disproportionality in sentencing and disproportionately severe sentences. Now, just to be clear, mandatory minimum sentences are statutory, correct? In other words, they're passed by Congress and signed into law by the president.
Yes, that's right.
And here, you suggest that prosecutors should not enforce or charge defendants with a crime which carries a mandatory minimum under certain circumstances, correct?
I did not, it's not exact. If I can just have a moment to explain, I'm very familiar.
No, well, if you just answer the question. So, the memo says specifically, I'll just read it to you. It said, for this reason, charges that subject a defendant to a mandatory minimum sentence should ordinarily be reserved for instances in which the remaining charges would not sufficiently reflect the seriousness of the defendant's criminal conduct, danger to the community, harm to victims, or other considerations outlined above. So basically, your charging memorandum says that prosecutors can exercise their discretion to charge less than the most serious offense because you don't like the mandatory minimum sentences that Congress has passed, correct?
No, Senator, this is a question of allocating our resources and focusing them on violent crime. Later on,
I thought you said that your job was to enforce the law without regard to policy differences.
it's not a question of policy differences. It's a question of the resources.
You don't have enough money. You don't have enough people.
We don't have enough money. We don't have enough jails. We don't have enough judges.
Well, you've arrogated to yourself the decision to make policy by saying that in spite of the fact that there are mandatory minimum sentences for many of these drug crimes, which are now causing untold death and destruction across America, you're telling prosecutors don't charge those if they involve a mandatory minimum sentence.
With respect, Senator, the memorandum makes clear that that general analysis doesn't apply in violent crime, doesn't apply in drug trafficking, doesn't apply in cases in which there's injury.
So you're cherry picking which cases that you will charge with a mandatory minimum sentence and not applying them uniformly and charging the most serious crime that can be proven at
If we
trial.
apply it to every single crime, we will not be able to focus our resources on violent crime, significant drug trafficking, on the cartels, on the people who are killing people with fentanyl. So the purpose here is to focus the attention of our prosecutors and agents on things that are damaging the American people in the largest possible respect.